So 2020 has decided to turn me into a pirate. Yes, it's temporary. Let's move on. Hey there, fellow sentient humanoids. Today I wanted to talk all about skincare. My New Year's resolution for 2020 was to get my skin in order and get rid of my acne, since I've had it since I was about 10 years old. Ow. However, that was not a thing. I did find out what is causing my acne. It is actually a hormone imbalance and comes with a whole host of fun side effects that, one of them, adult acne. But my skin is better than it ever has been before. Throughout this year, I've looked into the science behind skincare. I've looked into how it works with skin, how these things are formulated, and I've uncovered some pretty disturbing lies about marketing. And people say anything when they want your money. And so because I did all this research, my skin is actually better than it ever has been. It's, been so much smoother, it's been so much easier to deal with, and I've been helping some of my friends with some similar issues. Just to kind of preface this, everybody's skin is different. What works for my skin may not work for your skin because, different ages, ethnicities, gender, it varies. So a lot of things with skincare is very trial and error, but there are some things I believe work for just about everybody, and I kind of want to walk through those. So let's do this. So I go about my skincare in a certain order, cleansers, exfoliate, toners, essences, actives, moisturizers. You are going to get sick of that word by the time I'm done with this. I'm going to be sick of that word. So with cleansing, what I do is I do the double cleanse method. So you cleanse first with a oil cleanser. What this is going to do is it's going to, oil attracts oil. So it sucks all that sebum out of your pores, and this is, usually, causes breakouts, especially like in teenage years. And it will dissolve makeup, sweat, sunscreen, it'll dissolve all that stuff because all of those things have oils in them. And once you emulsify that, because you have to, you do the oil cleanser dry, and then you wet your hands and you emulsify it, and then you rinse it off and go in with a water cleanser. I just use CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. And that'll take care of the dirt, anything that may have been left over. Do it for a full 60 seconds. I saw a video once, this young lady, she said, when you're washing your face, sing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, and that'll be 60 seconds. So that's what I do, After cleansing, you can use an exfoliant. So especially if it's wash off, so if it's a physical exfoliant. There's also chemical exfoliants. Chemical exfoliants will go much deeper into your skin and kind of exfoliate from the inner layers outward. This can cause purging, which is so much fun. Purging is when your skin, the underlying acne in your skin that is just waiting for its moment to sneak up on you, is suddenly coming to the surface because your skin is renewing faster, your cells are regenerating faster. So it kind of looks like a breakout, but it goes way after, anywhere from a couple weeks to a month or two. That's usually, people will think when they're using a chemical exfoliator for the first time that, oh, it's breaking me out, I don't want to use this, I'm gonna chuck it in the bin. Well, one, you just wasted your money because that's, especially if you have acne prone skin like I do, you're gonna purge. That's how it works. One of the easiest ways I've found to tell if I am purging or breaking out is my forehead. And you would think I would be acne prone on my forehead, since I usually have a fringe, straight across fringe. I've been doing this lately to kind of like hide this. But my forehead doesn't usually break out. So if I'm using something new and my forehead or my nose starts to break out, that's not normal for me. So I know that I'm breaking out. But if I'm using something new and I'm purging, it will only happen in the trouble areas where I already have that issue. So that acne that was laying underneath was gonna come up at some point, but it's coming up a lot faster and it's also going away faster. So stick with it. Patience when you're purging. If you're just getting into chemical exfoliant, do try to use something very, very gentle. My actual chemical exfoliant also doubles as a toner. It's gentle enough that I can use it every day. So I also still use physical exfoliants. We're about to get into a rant. Physical exfoliants, what a lot of people will do is they will find the harshest thing they can find. Looking at you, Kylie, your walnut scrub, what is the matter with you? And when they find this harsh thing, they will really push it into their skin. They'll really, they will be so rough with their skin, and it really is quite traumatic to your skin because you're creating micro tears. You can bust blood vessels this way. You completely like over exfoliate in some spots and then get hardly anything on other spots because it's just so uneven. There's a lot that can go wrong with physical exfoliators. You want something as gentle can be when it comes to physical exfoliators. St. Ives gets a lot of infamy for their apricot scrub, and I think it's well deserved. I don't think anything that has, pits in it is probably not going to be good. They do have other exfoliators that are much gentler and much more safe, where the particles are much more round, which is what you want in an exfoliator. You don't want anything jagged. And you do it gently. For me, what I do is I kind of let my hands be like dead fish, and I just put these 3 fingers together, I leave my pinkies all nice and loose, and I gently buff all over the face. I do it not quite slowly, but I'm not, sound effects, I'm on a budget. And you do it all over for a little bit longer because you are, being so careful with it. You can go for a little bit longer and kind of buff that off. But second thing with physical exfoliators is, in my opinion, if you get it from the kitchen, don't put it on your face. Stop using sugar, stop using salt, stop using baking soda. I'm gonna go on a personal crusade against kitchen ingredients going on your face. You're gonna mess up your face, especially with sugar. Wouldn't it be sticky afterwards? These particles are large, they are sharp, and they are not good. Don't do it. Stop it. Stop. You're not baking anything on your face. Stop using food. And then you have targeted things, like if you are older and you have more mature skin, the skin naturally thins out over time. If you're, 40, 45 and above, drop the physical exfoliators. Drop them. You don't need them. Use a gentle chemical if you need, but don't use physical exfoliators. Your skin is already thin as you get older because of the loss of collagen, that all you're gonna do is risk, the blood vessels, the micro tears. You're gonna have a bad time. And it doesn't even matter how young you look when you are older. My mother, she is often mistaken for my sister. She still can't use a physical exfoliator because she's in her 50s. Like, please, you don't need it. And if you're acne prone, you don't need to use it every day. It's going to perpetuate the problem. It's going to make your acne worse. You can still use a physical exfoliator if you have acne. I still do, but I use it once a week, once every 2 weeks, because I already use a chemical exfoliator, and it'll make my acne worse if I overuse it. Really, I would just kind of ditch physical altogether. Just go for chemical if you're not sure. Just make sure it's gentle. I'll leave my personal recommendation for my favorite one in the links below. It's affordable for me. It's gentle. I'm able to use it every day with like no issues. So after exfoliating, especially with a physical exfoliator, first thing you want to do is tone. So when the skin is damp, it's much more likely to receive ingredients better. This is largely what a toner does. Toners can also target other things that are bothering you. So mostly, in my opinion, the thing that works for everybody is moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. If you're getting a toner that is targeted for oily skin, check the ingredients list. If in the first 5 of the ingredients you see alcohol, ditch it. Don't buy it. Don't waste your money. This is not going to do anything for you. All it's going to do is make your skin more oily. Most of the time, the reason skin is oily is because you don't have enough moisture in your skin to begin with. So your brain is telling your skin to compensate. What you need to do is you need to actually train your skin to act a different way. And you can do this. You can train your skin to do what you want it to do. So if you're applying alcohol to your skin, it's the same as with like the benzoyl peroxide. You're drying it out. If you have oily skin and you're constantly drying your skin out and you're constantly taking that oil away, it's just going to perpetuate the problem. So I would never recommend any kind of toner that would have alcohol in it, or, you know, the things that you know will dry you out. Instead, I would look for any kind of toner that says hydrating or moisturizing. Like that is what you want. Especially if you don't have a certain product that works in this way. A toner acts as a conduit for the products you place on top of it, because, you know, it makes your skin damp. So it kind of is like laying a foundation down that you build your skincare house on top of. So that would definitely be my recommendation for toners, is look for anything hydrating. And with toners, actually, I noticed like the less ingredients, the better. It doesn't need to be super powerful to fight anything. All you really want to do is dampen your skin and moisturize it. Maybe some other little goodies in there, you know, like rose water, or, you know, aloe, or whatever works for you, witch hazel. I follow my toner with an essence. My essence is a power essence. So kind of like how I mentioned, a toner creates that conduit for other things to go into. My essence does the same thing. I'll link that one below too. It's actually the same as my chemical exfoliator toner, so they work really well together. So when I'm putting my essence on, it's kind of like putting steroids into my skincare routine. Because when you're putting the essence on and it really zaps into your skin, anything you lay on top of it is going to find, you know, like if a toner is a pathway into your skin, this essence is a space portal, and it really gets into the skin, really makes it nice, really locks it in. It's super hydrating. Most essences are, and like I keep saying, hydrating, moisturizing, it's gonna be your best friend. After an essence, I use what I would call actives. There are certain skincare things that are marketed as actives, you know, I think like retinoids and vitamin C. I don't use things like that, but anything that I am using to actively combat some kind of issue is what I would call an active. So for me, it's, you know, my acne or hyperpigmentation. So this is where you would apply, like if you have a dermatologist creams or gels, this is where you would put that on. I use tea tree oil brightening serum because I do have hyperpigmentation and freckles. If you're looking for like something to more firmly attack blackheads, you know, this is where you would use that. So actives or anything, you know, like you would put that on top of the essence to actively target whatever's bugging you. And then I finish it all off with a moisturizer. I told you you're gonna be sick of this word by the time I was done, and so am I. So moisturizers, there are about, you know, like 2 different kinds of moisturizers. First is like an emollient moisturizer, and this is what's going to sink into your skin. So if you have dry skin, this is what's going to really help you combat that, because it's putting something into your skin to rebalance it out. Actually, would work the same for someone with oily skin too, because you're putting that moisture back in. So hopefully over time your skin will stop producing as much oil. And then you have the humectant moisturizers. I think most people, when they hear about a humectant, their first thought is Vaseline, because it acts as a barrier. You know, when you put it on your skin, it keeps all those goodies in your skin, but it won't let anything in either. Like, so nothing will escape, nothing will be let in either. So if you're just putting it on your bare face, your skin will just retain what it already has, but it's not gonna get anything else inside. So there are certain tips that I've seen that say use an emollient and then a humectant. Humectant should always be last. Always should be last. So anything that would be a humectant, you're thinking stuff like Vaseline, oils, You know, it should say on the bottle what kind of moisturizer it is, if it, you know, is locking something in or putting something in. And when it comes to oils, what you'll probably want to do instead of putting the oil all over your face is just like have your moisturizer, a drop of oil, mix it together, pat. Yeah. I personally, with all of these things, I actually use the 7 skin method, so I don't rub into my face, I pat into my face. I find it's gentler, really pushes it into the skin. You know, things like my toner, I do use, you know, 2, 3, 4 times. That's just something I like to do and it works for me. So that's just my personal skincare. You know, I'll leave what I use down below if anybody's interested. I'm a starving artist, so yeah, it's cheap for me. So one of the most common lies that I was actually quite mad when I found out about was dermatologist recommended. It's like, ooh, a dermatologist, you know, they tested this, you know, they must know it's good. Why would they recommend it if it wasn't good? You know, it's a lie. It's all a lie. The only thing that I know for a fact is dermatologist recommended because I've seen it in every dermatologist office I've ever been in is CeraVe, and that's it. That's it. That is the only one I can think of. What happens is that a brand will give money to a dermatologist and be like, can we put your name down as being the dermatologist to recommend this? Anonymously. and it's money. I would take it. Heck yeah, I would take it, but it's a lie. It's a lie. There's no testing. They haven't done anything with it. They haven't reviewed it. Yeah, maybe they use it, but that's not to say it's their favorite thing. That's not to say they would actually recommend it to their friends. It's a lie. It means nothing. So if it says dermatologist recommended, yeah, it may be a good thing. I don't know. But a dermatologist, they don't care. Don't waste your money based on that alone. You know, check the ingredients and everything. Read actual reviews of people who've used it. Don't buy it because a dermatologist recommended it. It's dumb. Same thing for makeup too. r/quit your BS. You know, just don't. Speaking of r/quit your BS, nothing's gonna shrink your pores. If it says it's gonna shrink your pores, minimize your pores, it's a lie. Your pores are permanently the same size forever. Unfortunately, because I have pores like the size of moon craters, I feel, but you know, you are your own worst critic. So pores don't have muscles. They cannot shrink, they cannot expand. When you're steaming your face, you know, it's supposed to enlarge your pores to get all the gunk out. It's not doing that. It's not enlarging your pores, it's just softening what is actually in there so you can get it out easier. But it's not enlarging them. Same with cold water. I was very mad to find out about this because I had taken a lot of really ice cold showers thinking that it would shrink my pores or smooth my hair, and it didn't. Don't torture yourself with cold water anymore. Just take your normal lukewarm hot showers because cold water has no benefits. Everybody in the world has pores. Everybody in the world has dealt with acne at some point, you know, has fine lines, wrinkles, spots, you know, everybody has it. It's one reason why I'm not really on Instagram anymore is because all I'm seeing are fake people with fake skin. The filters, the editing, the Photoshop, just, it's not realistic. When you're looking at a person in real life, they are always going to have texture on the skin. People have texture, that's how it works. But you know, these marketing companies are targeting people who see their skin and it's realistic skin, telling them that there's something wrong with it. You know, shrink your pores, fill in those fine lines. I'm sure there's something surgical wise you could do, but nothing you put on your face is gonna help. And if it does look like it's helping, it's an illusion. And, you know, it's something laying on top. It's not actively doing anything to your pores. Your pores don't have muscles. They can't contract and expand. So nothing's gonna work in a day. Like, this is definitely probably my biggest tip, is that you have to be patient. If you're trying new things, and my personal recommendation is don't try a whole slew of new things at once. Introduce them one at a time and figure out what ingredients work for you, what doesn't work for you. But you do have to be patient, because nothing, Rome wasn't built in a day. You have to kind of do a trial and error. It sucks, and some things aren't going to work for you. Some things are going to work really well, but you have to give it time to work. If you have a zit and you're Googling how to get rid of a pimple in a day, it's not going to work like that. You can help the appearance of it, especially if it's like inflamed, but you can't get rid of a spot in a day. Skin doesn't work like that. It has to be given time. So definitely be patient with it. Don't give up if you're not seeing results in a week. Sometimes it can take months. That's how skin works. Be patient. Definitely be patient. Another tip of mine would be to avoid anything in the world that has alcohol or is targeted towards acne. What'll tend to happen is that people will actually use items like their entire skincare, whether it's just a cleanser or a whole host of things, they will all be targeted for acne prone skin. This is just going to dry your skin out. What most acne medications that you would find just out of the supermarket are going to have ingredients that dry you out. The way they work is by getting rid of the oil on the skin. So this will, one, make your skin oily, and two, break you out more because of that. And it's also gonna dry you out like crazy. Bad. If you're going to use something that is targeted for acne, I would use it in the actives section, so that would be like, well, I would probably prefer salicylic acid instead of benzoyl peroxide, but you would use those there and use them sparingly, especially benzoyl peroxide, use it sparingly. And always moisturize after. We talked about it with the toner. If a toner for oily skin has alcohol, avoid it. Cleansers are not as bad. Like if you have a cleanser that's targeted for acne and it has like benzoyl peroxide or alcohol in it, because you're putting it on your skin and then it's only there for about a minute and you rinse it off afterwards and then you're doing all the other hydrating stuff, you could probably get away with it. But it's not something I would use on its own every day, multiple times a day. That is definitely very personal. Like, there might be others who have acne prone skin who it worked like a dream, but most I know somehow had flaky, oily skin combined, and that's why it happened. Is because you dried your skin out, so you're flaking, and then brain telling your skin, I'm flaking and drying out, oil, I remember at one point when I was a teenager, I could probably fry an egg from the oil on my face, but it was somehow still covered in eczema. Like, it was bad. And what works for me might not work for you. At one point I was in a really low spot and I was, complaining, like, I've had acne for 17 years, I'm done with this. I've tried everything except for Accutane. I've tried the pills, I've tried the creams, the gels, the methods, I've tried everything. And someone was like, well, did you try this, this, and this? I don't believe you tried everything. And, they sent it to me and like a message on Facebook, and it was like really condescending. I ended up blocking that person because towards the end they were like, well, maybe you should just clean your face more. I do it twice a day. You cannot tell me that. Someone who has acne is not dirty. Everybody gets acne, and we all get it for a variety of reasons. Mine comes from a medical condition, There are some, they get it just because they're teenagers. There's some, it's because they're allergic to something. Our bodies are weird. They do good things for us, but they also attack us. So that was just kind of like what I do with skincare, some tips, tricks, lies, you know. You're really gonna wanna familiarize yourself with ingredients before you just wanna go based on the packaging and the claims and all that stuff. If you wanna get rid of fine lines and wrinkles, you're gonna be looking at a cosmetic procedure, not a cream. And prevention is better than a cure. So like I've been doing anti-aging stuff since I was about 25 years old. So if you're about that age, look into it. So this has probably been long enough. So be awesome, be you, and I'll see you next time. I'm also standing. I've never actually filmed while standing before, but maybe I like it. Got Bold and Brash with me and Pose over there. Ravenclaw scarf, like, should be fun, right?